Hello YouTube, I am Pinstar, and this is Warlock II, the Exiled Strategy and Tactics, Episode 1. Yes, Warlock II has been a game that caught my attention about a month ago, and I have been quite excited about it ever since. I definitely like hex-based strategy games. Civilization 5 definitely got me into that. And this actually looks a lot like Civilization 5, but boy does it not play like Civilization 5. And trust me, Civilization 5 is a good game. This is its own game. This is not some cheap copycat. This has some very unique mechanics. Really makes for some very unique strategies, and I'm going to be presenting one for you. I call it the High Elves. Is going to be the name of my particular build. As soon as the game went on pre-order, I went and pre-ordered it, and have been working on early access to hone and refine my strategy, which then had a gigantic hole blown in it on the release day patch. This bad boy right here, which reworked some aspects that kind of made me retool some of my strategy. So for the last couple of days, I've been working feverishly to further hone and refine my new version of the strategy, which I will be presenting to you guys today. So let's get started. We're going to be starting up a new game here. We are doing challenging difficulty level, normal spawn rate for the monsters. We're going to be doing Exiled mode on a medium-sized world with 2 rivals. Might as well keep just about everything as default as possible. If I do other playthroughs with this, I might mix things up again, maybe dive into sandbox mode. But since this game is fresh out, let's do its namesake, Exiled mode. Now, for our character, we are not going to be taking any of the stock characters. What I am going to do is, I like the Dragon Queen here. At least portrait-wise. She's an elf, there's some fire, it looks good to me. So, what doesn't look good to me are her perks. So we're going to be resetting these things and choosing our own. So the perks that I will be selecting for her is Archmage, casting speed 20% faster, academic, production of research 20% more, and lesser heal. Now, the specific reasoning for me taking each of these particular perks, I'm not going to describe them or explain them at the moment, but as we play through the game, and we encounter situations where we are benefiting for having those perks, I will point them out and explain my rationale for choosing them. But without further ado, let's dive right in. Okay, come on. Winter world or desert world? Winter or desert? Winter or desert? Those are my 2 favorite of the starting world types. So fingers crossed for one of the 2. Either one can give us some very powerful early game advantages. At least for my particular build. And it's a winter world! Woo! Oh, it's a winter world with some iron in our capital's, in our capital's eventual radius. So I think we're going to be pretty well set for money early game. Okay, so let's get started here. Alright, so first we must choose a spell to research. And so let me start with the first perk and the reasoning behind that. Lesser heal. Well, we had 1 leftover perk point. We had to put it somewhere. I chose to start the game with lesser heal because that allows me to work on fertile lands right out of the gate. And the reason why I want to work on fertile lands right out of the gate is in case I started on a desert or a icy world, because we're going to run into some food issues really early on, and as soon as this spell is done, we can start mitigating that. So, fertile lands will be our first spell to be researched. Now, for our build here, our first building to be built, and this holds true for regardless of what type of terrain we started on, is actually going to be a mana trap. we need that both because we like some early in-game mana, but also our capital is going to be more focused on mana and research, and I'll show you exactly what kind of path we're going to be going on for it. But anything related to mana or research needs a mana trap as sort of the starting prerequisite building. So down you go. And also, since we started the game with a chamber of arrows and can make ethereal bows right off the bat, we're going to queue up one unit of that, because having an extra set of bows around the map for our early exploration and monster clearing is definitely very handy. Alright, so we start the game off with our spearmen and our bows. I like these two early game units. They're very strong. They're expensive, but that's how the elves are. Their units are more expensive than pretty much all the other races' units. Have higher upkeeps, but they're also stronger. They have more latent resistances, more abilities, more, well, pretty much everything. Alright, so let's start exploring here. And what I'm looking for, since we're pretty much going to be pretty well set for money because of our capital up here, I'm going to be looking for, or fishing around for some good food city spots. But let's start clearing out these rogues here. So I'm going to move you guys up here onto the mountains here. But before I attack the rogues, I'm going to get my archers in here and take a shot at them so we can soften them up a little bit. Okay, now they're not that damaged, but there's a good chance that they'll run down here and go straight for my archers on the plains, and I do not want them to do that, so I'm going to preemptively attack. Take a little damage on the return, but oh, okay, well, thank you very much. Well, it's a nice freebie perk to get early in the game. I won't have to worry about unrest so much. Play a little bit faster and loose with our unrest actions. That's always handy. Alright, and this is just telling us that we can build our archers, which we are already doing so, and so let's end our turn. And yes, you always get this quest on the second turn. It's just telling us to find our portal and make our way through it, and we'll get 25 mana out of the deal. Not bad. Okay, so you guys take a knee, heal up for a round. Now you guys, oops. That was probably a mismove there. I wanted to fire on them before they got a turn because I don't want them hitting them full strength. The upside is, though, that they will be attacking. If they do attack, they'll attack from the low ground, so my guys will probably not take too much in the way of damage. And they don't bother attacking. Good. That's what we want. Alright, so let's see what we're going to do here. Well, you guys, I'm going to move you down one, just so I can take a little peek, and then we're going to take a shot. There we go. Move you over here, and let's see if we can't bait them into attacking me here. Ooh, okay, well, we've got some pumpkins and next to some iron here, so this actually might be a good food city location. Plenty of room to grow into, too. But yeah, we'll... if we can bait them to attacking our spearmen, our archers, because of their support perk, this thing right here, they will get a free shot on them and pretty much cut them to ribbons before they do too much damage to our spearmen. So having these two units paired up with each other is very effective at clearing the monsters pretty quickly. Alright, we have a new unit. Our capital just grew to size 5, which means we can start building settlers, and built settlers is precisely what we're going to be doing. In fact, we're going to be doing that so much so that I'm going to get rid of our chamber of arrows next turn once our bows finish here. Because after that one bowman, that's pretty much going to be our last archer unit we're going to produce. Like I said, they're good, but for our particular strategy that I'm going to be employing here, we're not going to be going archer heavy. I've seen some Arethi elf strats that go crazy with archers, and they're pretty effective. But like I said, this one, we're not going down the archer route. Yep, and they took the bait. Mana well. That's kind of advanced of a building. I'll accept it, but probably not going to beat it. Not that there's no consequence to not fulfilling one of those build an item quests, so no real reason not to. You know what? You guys can take a knee. You guys can clear out the den. Oh, and a lesser fireball. Okay. Getting some pretty healthy and decent drops. Oh, perfect. And we get to take a free shot at these ice elementals. Excellent. And actually yes, I can get my brand new archers into range here. And finish these guys off before they can even tag us. They get some pretty annoying freeze banes that they can apply to your units, or permafrost. So that can be some annoying, especially when you're trying to move around the map and explore. But we don't need to worry about that. Okay, so now here's one of the things I love about the Elves, and here's one of the reasons why I love starting in the frozen lands. So being in the icy terrain, all of this icy terrain gives us plus 20 to money and minus 20 to food. And our food's already kind of suffering for it, but it's not going to, I mean, our population, even though it says starvation, city population decreases, we're still growing our city. It's just a little bit slower than normal. And we'll be fixing this. But that 20% more money, we like that, especially when playing as the Elves. Most races, when they see bits of iron on there, they just slap a foundry on there. Yeah, we get some masterwork armor perks. That's all well and good. No. Elves have something better to do with the iron. Transmutation facility. Plus 6 gold base. No downsides, no costs, no gimmicks. Just plus 6 gold boosted by 20%. Boom. Money, money, money. And the other thing we're going to do is going to get rid of this chamber of arrows. Because, like I said, we've built our archers. We don't need to keep it around because we don't want the gold upkeep anymore. And as soon as this building finishes, we'll get to build another building to replace it. Huzzah! Okay, so got that. Good. Alright, well, you guys go over here, and let's get rid of those. I could have had better, but you know what? Alright, you guys are healed up, so you're going to make your way up here. We got some puppies, but otherwise not. Let's move you over 1 square. Ooh, silver. More money. Oh, and it's by the water, which means harbor. Ooh, and there's iron over here by the water. Man, this is just going to be money city after money city. And yeah, we can get ourselves a good food city over here. Alright. I think we have some good starting spots pre-identified. Now, I could go all the way up here, but then the dogs would just run in and maul my face. But if I hold back, and I wouldn't be able to fire because that's the last of my movement points, but if I hold back a square, the dogs can't see me, and then they're not going to attack me. So it's worth it to sort of conserve our HP. Also, speaking of conserving, yeah, we have that lesser fireball. I could start just fireballing the dogs, but you know what? I want to save my mana. I've got better things to do with it. I've got enough units to deal with my monsters around here. So, yeah, I'm just going to let my mana grow. Alright. So you guys march up here, but you're not going to attack just yet. Should be able to two-shot them at least. And by killing the wolves, not only can my spearmen clear the den, but they can continue exploring. Aha, there's our portal. Let's see what the portal quest is. It's the obelisk one. This is actually a really good one to get because right now the downside is you have a 50-50 chance of either opening the bridge or getting this ancient curse, which only lasts for 5 turns, and it drops your resistances. But right now things aren't too dangerous, so even if you get the unlucky 50%, it's still worth it to do it. So in the end, for this particular quest, don't waste your money and your mana to do that, especially if there's still a 10% chance to lift the curse. And don't take the nation's displeasure thing. That's yeah. Let's just do the obelisk, and we got lucky. But even if we didn't, we wouldn't suffer too badly for that curse. Now, that opens up some interesting situation here. We can actually dive right into the portal. There are some pros and cons to doing that. The pro is that we learn what our next shard is like nice and early. The con is that as soon as someone enters a shard, the monster layers there start spawning. So we might have a little bit more, a couple more waves of monsters to fight through if we pop it in early. But I think being able to identify it a little bit earlier is worth it. Okay, so our bowmen are up here. I always go with the marksman trait here for their first perk. Okay, and let's end our turn. All right, we have our settler. And yeah, I think since our capital is going to be doing just fine with money, I'm going to send them down here, and they're going to be my food city. And they got plenty of room to spread out over time, so I'm not worried about the city getting choked off. And actually, yeah, around about the time they'll be getting their stuff built, we'll be getting our fertile lands in here, and that'll pretty much effectively solve our food issue. All right, and we have another building again because we destroyed that military building. We can now build again much faster than we could normally. So our next building on our list here is going to be a Hall of Alchemy. Now, the Hall of Alchemy by itself is actually a really terrible building. It's a whole building that only gives us 1 mana and 1 research, and it costs us 2 per turn. So it's really a lousy building, but it is required. It is a prerequisite for both the Chamber of Magic and Chamber of Flights, which are their own trees of awesomeness. So we have pretty much no choice but to get this little bit of a crappy building to get the really, really, really awesome stuff afterwards. So now where are we going to build this? Well, the thing we're going to be keeping an eye on is, or keeping an eye out for is, we want to start sort of getting a road to our portal. So building buildings along this thing will reduce the moving cost from 0.1 to 0.5. So if we build a long line of buildings here, we can get our units off to the portal a little bit faster. So, yep, off you go right here. And also we want you working on another thing of settlers. Actually, another 2 thing of settlers. We are doing nothing but churning out settlers. We want to hit that city cap as quickly as possible. All right. Well, hang on. You guys, let's pop over here and see what else there is to see. All right, got some puppies. It's going to be a fantastic money city right here. I mean, silver plus a oceanside, which means harbor. It's going to be good. And you know what? I think that's going to be it for my monsters. I mean, I'm going to have my one more set of archers finish up the exploration here and just clear out any other layers. So since they're up here, I think I'm going to have my these bowmen up here follow my spearmen into the portal. All right, fingers crossed. What's going to be in the portal? What's going to be in the portal? Well, you're going to have to find out next episode. Alright, so if you liked this episode, want to see more, want to find out what our next world is going to be, go ahead and like, subscribe, and most importantly, leave me a comment. I welcome your feedback, good, bad, or indifferent, and I definitely use that to improve my, my videos, so anything you want to get off your mind, let me know. You can also follow me on Twitter at Pinstar. So until next time, this has been Pinstar. Have a good one, people.